Inconceivably, a rattled Toto Wolff loses his composure, his eyes flaming and his blood boiling. It may sound ridiculous, but the FIA did impose fines long after the objection was properly filed, leaving many to wonder, what is wrong with the FIA? Horner and Wolff discussed this issue in great detail. Let's check it out. Toto Wolff would not have been pleased with the other Formula One team's approach to solving the porpoising issue. A charge of insincerity and political games is made against the competition by the head of the Mercedes squad. Even a little altercation appears between Mattia Binotto, Wolff's rival. It's safe to say that Wolff and Horner are still in love, since their rivalry reached legendary levels when Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton competed head-to-head for the Drivers' Championship in 2021. After 14 1-2 finishes in a season of back-and-forth action that included 2 massive crashes, Verstappen was ultimately declared the winner under contentious circumstances. The new ground effect vehicles are stiff and run low, and they have experienced a combination of general ride quality issues and porpoising. The FIA has now stepped in on safety grounds after multiple drivers from various teams complained about back pain and voiced concerns about the possible long-term effects of driving such cars. It does highlight the FIA's inconsistent practices, but regulations are regulations, and drivers in Formula One must follow them. Is it right? Some teams, including Mercedes' bitter rival Red Bull, have either voiced disapproval of the idea of a mid-season rule change, expressed dismay over the FIA's technical directive being released the night before the Canadian Grand Prix weekend, or charged Mercedes with manipulating the situation in an attempt to get a rule change that would help with the performance gap it presently faces. Wolff is reported to have expressed his displeasure in a meeting with the team managers of Formula One, indicating that the situation appears to have reached a breaking point in Montreal. Every driver, or at least one from each team, has reported experiencing pain following Baku, difficulty maintaining the car's course, or blurred vision. It is also dishonest for team principals to try to play political games, while the FIA is trying to find a fast fix to at least get the cars into a better position and to try to control what is stated to maintain their competitive edge. Red Bull team manager Christian Horner stated following the previous race in Azerbaijan that it would be improper for the FIA to alter the rules in the middle of the season. It may be necessary for teams experiencing extreme bouncing to increase their ride height in order to compromise performance, whether it is due to mechanical issues or aerodynamic issues. Given that Ferrari has been among the most severely impacted by porpoises and that its driver, Charles Leclerc, stated this week in Canada that he disagrees with the FIA's intervention, there have been rumors that the sports car maker may suffer. But Wolff and Mercedes have also had trouble persuading detractors that their own motivations are selfless and not driven by a desire to outdo each other. Wolff said, "Of course, people will question whether my position is sincere or not." He cited remarks made by Esteban Ocon, Carlos Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen, and Red Bull driver Sergio Perez, who said, "You can even lose your vision when braking." "One team is not the cause of this," stated Wolff. Hamilton claims that the course has to be altered immediately and that it is only fitting that we begin the FIA's criticism with a 7-time world champion, given that he was the first to incur penalties for failing to maintain the W14 inside the white lines. To be honest, his racing engineer had cautioned him. However, as Hamilton mentioned over the radio, he found it difficult to control the car and couldn't keep it all together. Having said that, he still believes that the track's outlet needs to be altered. He continued, saying that driving on the circuit was considerably more fun. It is evident that Hamilton was not the only one who pushed the FIA to alter the track's outflow. But given that drivers like Verstappen, Zhou, Leclerc, and Perez are not committing those offenses, one can't help but question, where is the problem? It goes without saying that a car's weight impairs a driver's ability, and with the most recent regulations, it appears to be quite difficult to keep the car between the white lines on the Red Bull ring. Christian Horner is backing discussions about significant FIA engine upgrades, even at the risk of annoying Max Verstappen. Ahead of the planned engine equalization negotiations at the Belgian Grand Prix, Horner has thrown his support behind the initiative. Red Bull, which has dominated the sport since the introduction of the new regulations last season, could suffer consequences from any changes made to F1 engines. "I think it's a matter of seeing what the deficits are," Horner clarified. It is believed that the FIA should provide a detailed breakdown of the disparities, as they have access to all the data. It's something we should be sensible about if there is a deficit under homologation, and that would be fascinating for everyone to see. If not, you're confined for 2 years. Therefore, it wouldn't object to a reasoned conversation. It follows worries expressed by Alpine that the Renault engine is inferior to the Honda powertrains of Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari. According to F1 regulations, manufacturers are only allowed to modify power units for dependability and security. Thus, Renault would be forced to stay where they are. If sufficient data indicates that the disparity is growing, FIA representatives may step in with an engine equalization campaign. Although it hasn't been verified yet, Renault might be granted the go-ahead to modify their power unit's performance. The last time engine equalization was utilized in Formula 1 was in 2007, when manufacturers employed reliability tweaks to increase speed. The action was taken only a few weeks after Lewis Hamilton urged FIA officials to act to end domination stretches in Formula 1. Another issue is interfering with the updates on the Austrian GP outlet. MotoGP riders would not enjoy themselves too much going full speed into corners and slamming into curbs or gravel traps. And F1 isn't the competition that belongs here. Yes, adjustments must be made, but Aston Martin's objection made many uneasy and made them wonder if the FIA had the right to impose more fines 5 hours after the race ended. Undoubtedly, a significant number of F1 fans who understand that the sport exists out of a need to survive have a huge impact. Even though we're thrilled that they've joined the family and are now enjoying the amazing racing experience with us, they're typically the ones who have inadvertently pushed the FIA to take a different approach. In light of this and the remarks made by Wolff and Horner, do you believe that something will undoubtedly change? Or will the drivers need to give up a significant portion of their personal lap times to stay out of trouble? Please leave your opinions in the space provided below. If you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any more.